Going live. Hello, everyone. It says we're live. Let us know in the chat box if you can hear us and see us. Let's see. I all of a sudden can't hear anything. Can you hear me, Marianne?
I can hear you.
I guess I'm just not used to these. I am wearing my headphones
Do you wear them
today.
when you're
So
teaching?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But it just sounds so quiet right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I see us now. Good, good.
Oh,
Good
good.
morning, Renee. Yes, Cindy, we are here talking about Six Apple Summit. I was able to go to it, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And we'd like to talk about the LPs. And so Marianne mentioned that we should do this. So make
Yeah.
sure you guys ask us questions in the chat because I'm sure there's lots of things we didn't think about. But we have our notes and things. So, all right, you want to introduce yourself so they know who you
Sure.
are?
Yeah. So I'm Marianne Shannon, and Kasie and I received an email, I guess, a few weeks ago about attending the Six Apple Summit, which is kind of like a journey, going to Journey, but it was virtual, of course, and I guess only so many people. It depended on, I think, on how many classes you taught. Is that correct?
Well, it was the Six Apple Summit was for opals and above. So you get points for opening PPT slots. You get points for your classes, for workshops, for attending events. I took a picture of it so I could.
Right.
Yep.
So I heard there was only less than 300 people there. Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
sounds about right.
So anyway, so it was awesome. So it was like going to a journey, a virtual journey.
Uh-huh.
And so you log in, they have a keynote speaker at the beginning, but
Yep.
on the side, you could like leave the room
Yeah.
and go to they had a virtual shop. Well, you could only buy one thing.
Yeah. I
But
bought
it's a
it. It should
little,
be here soon.
oh yes, that's right. It's a water cup or something, water bottle, I don't know. And then you could go to other things, like you could
Right.
leave the group and go visit other rooms and then come back. So after the keynote speaker, that was Professor Lou, I believe, and really good talking about acquisition and language, and very detailed, very
A
thorough.
lot of technical terms.
Yes, a lot of technical terms. We're not talking about that today.
No. Go
And
get your
then,
TEFL. A lot of it, you know what? A lot of it was in the TEFL. I
yes, you're
noticed in
right.
the TEFL that a lot of the words he used was in there. So that was
You're
interesting.
right. You're right. And then after he spoke, then they had breakout sessions. And so I attended the one that talked about LPs and their role with VIPKid. So I thought it would be really interesting to share that information since we don't get to see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. So, and I told her I would like to talk about like what it was. So I thought it was, oh, where's my notes? See, now I'm all confused. So it was a virtual event, and it was for the Opal teachers. And I wonder if they're going to come out with another one. But it was kind of like a trial. I don't know. It's the first time, with these big virtual events. Dino was there. That was fun. But what I thought was great was that all the proceeds, we paid $10, and all the proceeds went to Save the Children. So it was a foundation. So I thought that was great that we could help. So let's see. Did you hear the opening? Only 4% from teachers were invited. I was surprised at that. 4% of teachers
4% of
or 4% of
100,000
Opal? I think
teachers.
it was, yeah, I think.
Oh, 4% of Opal.
No, I'm wondering. I think it was 4% of teachers. It was the Opal. I'm not sure, actually.
Well, because like Heather told me she got an
Thank you, Deborah.
email. Heather Fink got an email, but she didn't. I mean, she wished now she had gone, but she didn't know what it was about. So I think there was probably a lot that didn't go that were invited. So.
Good. Maybe that's, yeah. Let us know, Renee. Was it 4% of teachers, or was it like the Opal group is 4% of teachers? Maybe that's what it is. So thanks, Deborah. Oh, she said of, not from. Okay. But I really like that the money was donated, and that was one of the
Yes,
reasons why I went. I figured
yes.
I'm going to pay the $10, and I had an appointment that day, so I figured if I don't make it, at least it goes to a good cause. Um, okay, so you want to tell us about the LP because he's funny. I've seen him before
Yeah.
at DC.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Mhm.
That's right. You said that. Okay. So his name was Benjamin Liu. And I have my notes. So if I look down, I don't have everything memorized. So
I
bear
hear
with
you.
me.
Did you
Okay.
write down why he goes by Benjamin? Did you hear that?
No, I
Because
don't
he
remember.
likes Benjamin Franklin and he's read his books and studied about him and everything. So he gave himself the English name Benjamin. And I thought that was so
That's
funny.
right. Thank you for yeah, for saying that. That was cool. That's how he chose his name.
Mhm.
Okay, so he has an MBA in business. He is an ETS certified trainer, but I don't recall what ETS stood for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, he's the training director of the VIPKid LP team. He joined VIPKid in 2016, and he basically has been training the LPs for more than 3 years. So he's like in charge of the LPs. He was an English course teacher and a designer for 16 years. So he's been in
Yeah.
education a long time. He was really, really good. And I
Hmm.
hope they allow everybody to listen to him, to his talk, because it was
Yeah.
very informative. And he had lots
Mhm.
of great slides and whatnot. Okay, so basically, your LPs, now there's all these numbers floating around.
Yeah.
What I tell you is not, I'm not making it up. These are from his slides. So I just want
Hmm.
to like throw out that discourse. So if somebody says, Marianne said,
Yeah.
and you know how
And
you play telephone and by the
uh-huh.
time the fifth person gets it, like there's 10,000 LPs? No,
No, but there's more than I thought.
well, he has 3,000 plus.
Yeah.
So 3,000 plus could be
Hmm.
4,000. Anyway, 3,000 plus LPs, which for 100,000 students, not really a lot, in my opinion, if we have
Yeah.
100,000 students, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so the average age of an LP is 26 years old.
And
Um,
and obviously I'm the oldest one.
right. Although he
Sorry.
wasn't that old.
I remember the funny parts, guys. I'm sorry.
You're funny. I was just sitting there like, I want to get all this. I'm taking all these pictures and trying to save all this information. Um, 37% of the LPs are males and 63% are female.
Hmm.
And then he talked about the day in the life of an LP.
Yeah.
So their job is to maintain contact with parents on a regular basis.
Hmm.
They place students on the right level and monitor their learning process. They help parents book classes and then plan the student study. So that's their
Hmm.
main job.
I like how
So
he said they have to be motivators. He's like,
yes,
we have to
yes,
motivate the parents and remind them of Mondays.
yes, that he does talk about that here. So here's what an LP does. So not what they do, but when they get in touch with parents, 5 minutes after a parent signs up with VIPKid, bam,
Yep.
they're calling them, right? 5 minutes after to get them ready to go. They
Hmm.
work about 10 or more hours per day. So they
Right.
work a lot. Um, it says he said they spend about an hour per day watching students' classes to make sure the feedback on language points. So
Yeah.
we are being watched, as we know, which
Hmm.
makes sense because how else are they going to tell what's going on, right?
Yeah. He said that's so they can take their notes for the feedback when they contact the parents. Hmm.
Right. And he didn't go into any information as to how they decide
Yeah.
who they're watching or whatever. So they spend 2 hours plus per day on communicating with the parents, and
Hmm.
60% of the communication is done via WeChat. So there's
Yeah.
probably a lot more texting than
Hmm. And
calling, which makes sense.
he's very proud of his WeChat and Weibo following and his
Yes. Oh,
Chinese
yes.
TikTok. He's got a
Yes.
lot.
Got a huge following. Yes. Okay. So then the next slide was how often do LPs contact the parents?
Hmm.
First call, like I said before, is right after the payment. They're calling them, getting it set up. The second call is after their first class. Makes
Hmm.
sense. How'd everything go? did your child like the class? Were there any concerns, whatnot?
Mhm.
The third call is after the third class. So they give them a little break, third class. And then they call the parents after every unit assessment. So that's good to know.
Wow. Yeah. I
Yes.
didn't remember that part.
Now, I don't know if that would be every 6th and
And
12th.
12.
That would be a
Wow.
lot. I would think,
Because each of them have 150 students. That's
no,
why they
oh yeah,
work
yeah,
10 plus
150,
hours. Yeah.
maybe more, maybe
Wow.
more.
Yeah.
So I would think it would be the second unit assessment, but I mean, I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
imagine them calling it the 6th one, you know, how there's 2
Hmm.
assessments.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't differentiate between the 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so they asked parents to book classes every Monday, like you're saying. Don't forget, book your classes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you,
And then
LPs.
they asked parents to renew the course package. So they're in
Right.
sales, right? Hey, I see your child only has so many classes left. You might want to sign up for another,
I'm
package. Or
surprised they do that and not the sales team. Wow. Yeah.
maybe they get the thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a reminder. But yeah, true. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all the information he had
Yeah.
on that. The next thing was data, talking about data concerning VIPKid students.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically had a bunch of mostly bar graphs, and I kind
Right.
of broke it down. So talking about the student's age.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought this was very interesting. I think in the chat, Laura H said, "Wow, I'm already loving this. This is very interesting. That whole age thing." Sorry, Maria. Go ahead.
yeah.
I just get
So
excited.
do you remember, Kasie? I was going to ask, do you remember what the most the popular age is, or not most popular, but what
Yeah.
age group is the largest?
Do you want
Do
me
you
to try?
remember?
So
Yeah.
it used to be 6-year-olds, but now it's 9-year-olds, then 8, and then 7-year-olds.
Yes. And I put 7, 8, 9 together because the bar graph, it was really hard to tell.
Mhm.
I was looking at the percentages and I'm like, I'm just kind of rounded off.
Yeah,
So
I
I had,
re-listened to it. That's why I can. It's kind of
oh,
fresh. Oh, but only up to a little bit more.
okay.
And then,
So basically 3-year-olds are barely a blip on the radar. So if you
right,
don't
but
get a
they're
lot of
awesome.
3-year-olds, that's why, because it has to be 3.10 years
Yeah.
to start VIPKid.
I had a 2-year-old,
I have had a couple of 2-year-olds.
but he was super smart.
Yes, mine were too, and they were in a high chair. So I'm like,
I know. I was like, oh my goodness, a baby.
high chair with their sippy cup. So anyway, 3-year-olds are it was just tiny bar. 4-year-olds 1%,
Wow.
5-year-olds
Thank you.
6%. So it's starting to build. 6-year-olds 8%, and 7, 8, 9 roughly 14%. Give or take. 10-year-olds 13%. Then it starts going down. 11-year-olds 10%. 12-year-olds 9%. 13-year-olds 5%, and 14-year-olds 2%. So not a lot of level 7 and 8 classes out there. I mean,
Right.
it's same with the TESOL. I used to have that certification. I dropped that one.
It's not my favorite.
I just, I feel like they could do a better setup. The kids that I had were always just trying to get the answer, and I get that's their
Yeah.
nature. They're competitive. They just want to get it.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be set up that way. But yeah, I didn't get that many when I had the certification. Well, there you go. Now you know why. Because there's not that many 13, 14, 15-year-olds was 1%.
Wow.
So 15 and 3-year-olds are the lowest. Okay. So anyway, and then he had the students level distribution, the bar graph. So as far as what level they're taking, so what do you think is the most popular level?
Oh, I know that one. Level 2.
Yes. Ding,
Yes,
ding, ding,
level
ding,
2.
ding. Yes.
Woohoo! I get a star.
You get a gold star. Yay. See, we are true VIPKid
Great
teachers.
minds.
Here, I'll give you this too. This is what I do after every unit assessment. Yay.
Oh, cute.
Yay! Okay, you are right. It is level 2.
Mhm.
And I put some numbers. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to read exactly, but about 250,000, level
Wow.
2. The next popular, what do you think the next popular?
3.
Yes, ding,
I
ding,
would say
ding,
that.
200,000, 200,000.
Wow.
What about after that?
I don't know. One's got to be
Think of
coming
the
up.
age. Remember 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. So I would say 4, then 1, maybe.
Yes. So it's 2, 3, 4. 1 and 5 were about the same, about 50,000.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Why do I have so many ones? I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Level 6, 10,000, give or take, probably a little bit less. Level 7, 2,000, give or take. I mean, it's low.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense because it's only been around for, VIPKid's been around for what? It started in 2013, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
If kids continue, it will increase.
True. Yeah.
So, the preferred days of classes. This was another bar graph. So just take a guess. What do you think? There was 2 that tied, 2 days that they're the most popular.
I don't remember which ones were the most popular. I only remember that Sunday was the least booked.
Yes, Sunday was the least, but and it's only by a percent or so that these 2 days beat it. It's actually Tuesday, Wednesday, 15% versus Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 14%. Wow. Mondays, 13%, and Sunday was 10%.
That's
Sunday
so weird. My Monday, Friday, and Saturday are my busiest.
Really? See, I don't work Mondays. I decided this is the first time in my life where I get to choose my day off. Yeah. And I choose Mondays.
Because I can.
Because I can, yes.
Wow.
So, I mean, the weekends we know are, and I know it doesn't, I was like, really? But maybe it has something to do with them, that's their family time. Because a lot of kids that I have taught, they don't have to do homework on Sundays usually.
Right. But the PPT, the PPT and the hot slots are the weekend.
I know.
Interesting. I wanted to read, let's see. I am Opal, but I don't know what that means. Laura, I'll go over that in just a little bit. Wow, I have a lot of 8 and 9-year-olds. I've even taught 2 students who said they were 13 years old and one that was 14. Laura said, I love TESOL. I do a lot of TESOL, and some of the best students were from those TESOL classes. I'm glad somebody loves it.
Yes, yay!
We need you.
You can have them.
Oh, she meant TOEFL. Oh, yeah, TOEFL. We knew what you meant.
TOEFL. Oh, yeah, TOEFL. Yeah.
Can you say level 4 numbers again?
Level 4. Oh, 125,000.
Is that your busy day, Erica? So everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry I did not shout out everybody in the chat. If you have questions for us, it's not too busy in here, but feel free to talk amongst yourselves. If you have questions and you want to put them in all caps so I don't miss them, that'd be great. And, Teacher Renee said Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday were equal at about 14%. And this one's, again, was a bar graph, but it wasn't, specific. Yeah. I was kind of rounding off. So, yeah.
What are you other than TESOL? Hey, Cindy Bennett. Erica, the TOEFL, I think she meant the TOEFL class. The TOEFL class is like where they go and study for their English courses. It's more of a testing, getting ready to test type class.
Yes.
So, okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure we caught up in the chat a little bit.
No problem. And I know there's a lot of numbers being thrown out, and I apologize.
Go for it. I love it.
Okay. So, here's another trivia question for you, Kasie, because, so what do you think? Well, you probably already know this. Come on. The preferred time slots. What's the most popular?
The PPTs.
Yes. But there's one that's the most popular. Like, what's the top one?
I think he said 7 to 8 Beijing time, right?
Yeah. Well, I just wrote down the numbers they had. So, 2,000 hours, which we know is 8 p.m. Yes.
Oh, I
I
love
know,
that
I
you
know.
speak my language.
Yes, I was in the military. I know military time. I taught
It's
my
such a
daughters
habit.
that too. Everybody's
Oh,
like, it's so hard. It's not hard.
no, it's not. And I mean, you got in trouble if you didn't know it, so it's kind of like
That's
been
right.
stuck in my brain.
You had to learn it. It's easier to write too.
Yeah. Hey,
You don't
Teacher
have to write
Daniel.
AM, PM, colons, all that stuff.
Right,
So
right.
okay, so yeah, the PPT times. The least popular was 2100 hours, of course, 9 p.m.
Oh,
It's
that's when they're
a
like,
sliver.
goodbye.
Yeah, yeah. And actually the other one than that is 1200. So at noon is the least popular,
Really?
according to his numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was getting started, they said sometimes they're at lunch during that time and they'll book a class with you. But I guess maybe they're not
Yeah.
at lunch yet. Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I don't know. See, I teach mostly lower levels and a lot of them don't go to
Oh,
school yet. So
oh, that's true. That's your 11, right?
yeah, yes. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I
That's when
start,
you start.
I'm getting ready to switch. I'm actually going to slow it down a bit this summer because I'm going to start without school.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look
I'm
at
only
that
going to,
smile.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
I start at 10:30 at night and go
Right.
till 8 a.m. So I'll be going, like, I probably won't start till like 3 or 4, start like in another week or so. I know, I'm like,
That's so exciting. That's
so
so exciting for
exciting.
you.
I mean, I love this job, but the
Yeah.
hours are brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are. And in the summer, in spring and summer, it's like, I don't want to go to bed at 2 p.m.
I wonder with this is just my little question as I, go for my walks that I think about. I wonder with so many teachers starting out school and other platforms if it's going to be better for those of us staying with VIPKid because of, so many not teaching. But then again, I'm thinking, wait, I don't think I want any more bookings.
I
But to
know.
those of you looking for more bookings, hang in there. We got this.
Yes, definitely. I know I was looking
Oh,
at
good, Laura.
OutSchool, not to change the subject, but they list their peak times too. So that's good to
Oh,
know that they have
interesting.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So oh, here's an interesting thing. The UA scores. They had a graph, just a line graph.
Hmm.
So the average scores, now of course, you
It's
know how people like
subjective.
yeah, I take this, I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but I think, of course, it's going to be higher than what the reality is because
Of
a
course.
lot of people I hear from new teachers, I was the same way. I'm going to give them all perfects because I don't want to get a, bad
Yeah.
apple feedback or something,
I was
which is,
opposite.
oh,
Just
you were
coming out of
opposite.
a brick and mortar classroom, I was like, wait, but they didn't do perfect. And this rubric says if
Yeah.
they're not independent. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just learned to play the game, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, whatever. Well, I
Yeah.
taught so many lower levels. And so the
Oh,
parents
yeah.
are sitting right there. I mean, what are you going to do? At least they tried. To me,
Yeah.
it's like at level 1,
Uh-huh.
they're trying. That's worth full points to me.
Yeah. But I
So
think all of level one like says with teacher help on it anyway. Or
true. Yeah,
something,
that's
to those.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they say how the parents feel about the UA scores? Ooh, let's listen. All right, what you got for us,
Oh,
Marianne,
okay.
on
So
UAs?
basically, the average UA score is between 88 and 92%. So not
Mm.
as high as you might think, because they're 99 to them is not doing well, right? Like if they
Yeah,
don't get 100%,
88. Wow. I would
and that
not have
was the
thought that.
average. Now he did break it down for girls and boys. Who do you think scored higher
I
on
already
average?
I
Girls.
remember this because of the statement he made with it.
Okay. Well, I don't remember the statement.
He said girls do better on the UAs. Okay, I'm kind of quoting him. So, what is that called? Paraphrasing.
Yes, paraphrasing. Yes.
So, he basically said that girls do better as we would expect on the UAs, but he thinks boys have more potential.
Oh, well, I don't remember that. That's a good memory.
I was like, I don't know
Whatever. Yeah.
how I feel about if I can find the little clip, maybe I'll add it.
Okay, so the girls overall 89 to 93%. Boys were 87 to 91. So only a difference of like 2%. Not
Yeah,
that big of a deal. But I think the girls are more focused that I have noticed.
maybe.
The
Or
boys.
Yeah, they behave better.
Well, maybe it's the younger boys aren't quite as focused.
Mm,
Put it that
yeah.
way. The older boys, I don't know. It's hard to say because I just started teaching more level 4s, and I
Yeah.
haven't had hardly any level 5s, and I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like my younger ones because the older ones are kind of like I have more expectations for them, and I'm not seeing
Yeah.
the expectations. They're more like, and I'm like, hello, hello, and they're
Wonderful.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, hello. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm here.
could you look at me?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And they're like, nothing.
Yeah.
So
I do your no, thank you. I
yes,
used
I
it
love that.
today. No, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so she was asking how the parents feel. Now he did not,
Yeah.
at least in his PowerPoint, he did not have any of that information, unfortunately, about what the parents think about UAs. That would
Yeah.
have been nice to know.
The only thing I remember him talking about, like parents and how they feel about it, is like if you give them a compliment about their child, they're more likely to be like, "No, my child is stupid." That was like they don't say, "Oh yeah, my child is smart. Thank you." They don't
Right, and I
acknowledge it.
do have that where they talk about,
Oh, is it on a slide?
yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yes,
that's all I
they
remember as
mentioned that.
far as what the
Well,
parents were
in
saying.
America, the parents are like, oh my gosh, my Johnny is so smart and he can do everything and there's nothing stopping him.
Yeah.
And then, we're like everybody gets a trophy nation.
Yeah. Unless
And
you're the first one to tell them that their child's not perfect or gifted like they thought. And then
yes,
I
and they're
know.
like, I'm going to the principal.
I
I'll
know.
have
And
your
then you're
job.
in big trouble.
Yeah, they're like, I'll have your job, young lady.
Young lady.
Yes.
For
Okay.
all the times there are no final projects, I am not entirely surprised at these numbers. That's true. The ADA would be lower for not having projects. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Although
right, Cindy Plummer.
somebody made a good point, since they changed it from homework to enrichment. Some people give them the points because since it's not required, it's not their
Yeah.
fault that that's part of I almost wish they would kind of do away with that.
Yeah, or at least the grading of it. I like when they do their project and I get to make
Oh yes.
do.
Yes.
I said do.
Do. Yeah. I usually use the blank screen. Okay, let's draw
Yeah.
the part. Tell me the parts of the face or body or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, I think they enjoy that more because I like it because it's more interactive.
Yeah.
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 But then I love seeing the projects because they're amazing artists.
I know. I have one that's supposed to draw me next. I've been her only VIPKid teacher, so if she draws a different VIPKid teacher,
You're gonna know something's up.
yeah. Well, she's had 90 something classes with me and 3 not with me. So
I've had a couple of students draw me and I'm like, because I have red hair, or I say auburn, but on camera, actually, it looks brown.
Yeah.
And I'll say red, and I'm like, but not like this red, And they're just like, no,
that's when
teacher.
you're gonna have to start bringing in ginger.
Right. Well, I have my ginger puppet. I just got it the other day. So
yes. Let's see. Deborah said, I agree with you, Marianne. I learned to play the game and be fair without my UA scores, but my boys are better than my girls are. Oh, interesting. With the UA scores. Hey, Danny, thanks for coming.
Hi, Danny.
Okay, so what's next?
Okay, so here's suggestions from the parents.
Yes, and this is about where I got to last night. I'm studying.
Okay, so not a whole lot, kind of nothing surprising. So they want you to successfully finish every class.
Yeah.
So when they talk about missed slides, I hear that's why a lot of people get 4 apples or whatever. You have to find a way to finish all the slides, even if you just like sometimes I'll get to the free talk slide and I don't have time to ask them a question because I got to go. Yeah. But at least I'll say a sentence and have them repeat it. Mm-hmm. If nothing else.
The little kids, look, a computer.
Yes.
A mouse. Next.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That slide you have to spend the least amount of time on, unless you have a lot of time, then you extend a lot. You use it to your advantage. Yes.
Good.
Now I have skipped well, I teach a lot of level 2s now because my level 1s have moved up.
Mm-hmm.
And that last slide where there's the song.
Yeah.
Some of them I'm like, there's one of the lessons I forget. The warm up and the closing is like, dude, it's like this long. And you get a reader that's like,
Yeah.
that like, yeah, has, and I'm like,
Deer in the headlights.
I'm like, do I want to do that slide or not?
Yeah.
But anyway, that is the number one suggestion from parents.
Mm-hmm.
So find a way to go through every slide, especially even the warm-up slide, which I've heard a lot of people skip over. I used to do the same thing. Now I use it. It's the same thing. You can use it, or no, not the warm-up, but the reward slide.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like for example, okay, I had one the other day, and I haven't had this student for a while. She's a regular, but I have parents tell me they have a hard time booking me, so I don't see some of them very often.
Yeah.
So she's doing Unit 12, Level 2, the one with the double-decker bus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a picture of the bus and double-decker, and what is this? It's like, this is a bus. And I don't think she'd seen the slide. You can kind of tell when other teachers have skipped over the slides when they don't even recognize what it is.
Yeah.
And but there's so much you can do with that. There's the student, like Meg's there, and Mike, and James, and Tina, or somebody, and they actually move, so you can put them on the bus. And but anyway, even if you can just spend like 20 seconds on there, just say something. I guess that's the most important thing, because I think it's because parents paid for these classes. They want to get their money's worth. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
So
good.
Anyway, that's the number one.
Every slide, including extra extension slides. I would say every slide between the first slide and the goodbye slide. The stuff after the goodbye slide, they're not expecting that, but everything in between from, your warm up,
which is usually for like level 3 and stuff, and 2, it's the UA, the information.
Yeah.
I just go over that if I need extra time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about options.
I would say always until you get to that goodbye slide.
It's like level 1 usually has that extension slide, but you only use that if you need more time.
The reward slides, just so long as you hit it once, we don't have to go back, right? I don't go back to the reward slide in the class. I do it one time. I let them play around if it's movable. Like today, I had my level 2, and she brought all 5 stars down, and I said, "Oh, red star, orange star, and then that was it. I have my own reward, so I don't.
Me too. Now, occasionally, the fruit or the food unit in level 2, you know how it has the 5 fruits and that.
Oh yes, I'm in that one.
Now that's a good one. Day. Sometimes I go back if I'm like, because I have my own rewards like you, but sometimes it's a good way to practice. So I'll go through it with them at first. Like the first class, I kind of have a little bit of routine. If they don't know the fruits, strawberry, I'll just say the word.
Yeah.
Next couple classes, let's make a sentence. This is a strawberry.
Right.
This is, then they learn these are. Maybe a couple classes later, what is this? I mean, it depends on your student. But the cool thing is you can scaffold.
Right. Well, I do use the reward slide every lesson, but I don't go back to it like the 5 times in the lesson.
I see what you're saying.
But if you need to extend, some of those reward slides that fit with the lesson can be a great extension too.
I was just noting that one in particular because I'm like you. I usually don't go back to the reward slide, but that is one that I will.
I have all my fruits around here.
Yes, I taught that this morning, and my student had his own fruits and vegetables. It was so awesome.
Yay.
So we're comparing, and he loved it because you have the ones. I have these that.
It was very hard to understand my. Oh yeah, I had those in my kindergarten class.
Yeah.
I forgot
these are my girls from when they grew up, so I have all of them. Potato, and then I have a knife.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a little boy this morning, so I was like, "Ow!" And I'm like, "Just kidding." Not real.
Cute.
But those are fun.
It was really hard to understand my level 4 today when he was eating mango. He like,
yes.
But he never eats or anything. This was like a one-time thing, so. Yeah. It didn't bother me.
I think that's their favorite fruit. Mango.
I love mango.
It must grow very well, or easily accessible in China.
Yeah, I agree
Most
because
of
I
the
hear it a
kids,
lot.
mango, they say
Yeah,
mango.
mango. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Okay, where are we?
Okay, we're talking about suggestions for parents. So the first one was to successfully finish every class, or
Mhm.
every, and all, meaning all the slides. Number 2 is to be active and enthusiastic in profile video.
Yes,
That
he
was
did
specific.
say, sorry, he did say like parents that he sees like, yay, or
Yeah.
the parents that see the arms raised and talking and excitement are, what did he say, mostly preferred? They say, oh, I
Yes.
want that teacher. Yeah.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
it really arouses the students' energy. You got to figure these kids, if they're in school all day and then they have to come home and take a class, if
Yeah.
you're like, hi, my name is Teacher Marianne. How are you? Great, let's get started. You
hmm
know, but if you're like, hi, how you doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody can do that. I mean, I'm a little over the top sometimes.
hmm
Um, it- but
Me
that's who
too.
I am.
It's
You
fun.
know, it's like you still have to be who you are.
Oh, yes, I agree.
But
I will say, speaking of, it's on the same topic, guys. I'm not veering off too much like I normally
that's
do.
okay.
I do want to tell you that my new referral said I could share this picture. This is actually our thumbnail because I'm interviewing her Sunday, but she didn't get any bookings or wasn't getting any, but she's brand new, so a couple weeks. She changed one profile picture and had 3 bookings within a couple hours or something like that. And now she had
Wow.
7 the other, like she is booming. But she changed it to a fun thing like
Cute, the
this.
cheese head.
This is Michaela. So she changed it to a fun profile picture and she said within hours she was booking. Let's see.
Awesome. Now, I've been with VIPKid, so I just signed my 6th contract. I have never changed my video or anything.
Me
And I
neither.
have, my hair is really long now. I had a perm. My hair was here. I
Really?
was in my kitchen or my dining room. I had like a, a poster on the
Uh-huh.
wall, and it took me like 20 takes to like, all right, this, I did exactly 15 seconds because I'm like
Wow.
not
I
tech
think mine's
savvy,
20.
and I have never changed it. So, I mean, I see what they're saying here, but I don't
If
know.
you're
I think
getting
some,
bookings,
yeah,
I wouldn't
I
change
do
it
need
if
to
you
change it and
aren't.
update it because it doesn't even hardly look like me. I'm like, who is that woman?
Yeah.
But
But if you're not getting bookings, I would say give it
yes,
a try. I mean, you can always change it back if you wanted to, but
yeah.
I just reread it and she said within an hour she got 3 bookings within an hour of that
Then
getting
she just
accepted.
changed her profile picture,
That's what
right?
she said.
Okay. Yeah, and
So
that's a really cute one.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's fun. We'll show you all that another day, but I just wanted
Okay.
to put that out there.
Yeah, no, but that is one of so that is number 2 suggestion. And of course, you have to bring that to the classroom too. Like if
Right.
you put this like exciting picture, but then you're like this, I mean, they're
Right.
gonna
It's
they're
not
gonna notice
fair.
it. Right. Just be who you are,
Like
right?
clickbait.
Right. Wow, I'll choose her. And it's like, where
Yeah.
is she? Okay, so number 3 is to write personalized comments and suggestions to students. So I know this is a hot topic, feedback, right?
I switched.
Good, good, yes. A lot of people I hear, the copy and paste, and I get it. I've taught like 20 some classes a day.
Yeah.
It's really hard to, the last
Yeah.
thing you want to do is spend a couple more hours doing feedback. So I personally, I use that feedback box or whatever
Yeah.
when I am teaching. And I do have I'm going to mention a quiet keyboard, and he mentions that too. A quiet keyboard, I've never gotten zinged for it. No parent has ever said, you're looking down, or I hear noise.
Yeah.
And I try to do as much of my feedback while I'm in class, as much as possible, or at least put key points. This is what I think they're talking about. Like I have quite a few regular students, and so when we start class, sometimes they're like, and I'm trying to say hi, and they're like, look, teacher, and they want to show you their latest toy.
Yeah.
And put that down. Oh my gosh, Daniel showed me his new Iron Man, or you're making that connection. I think that's what they're talking about, is not just what they did in class, especially if you teach lower levels, the parents are already there.
Yeah.
They know what went on in class.
I will say, as I get better with my pacing, my feedback is getting better, being more personalized. And I think it's because I've been using the phone to text or whatever, like talking right after
Yes.
in that couple of minutes that I have. Now, lately, I'm not there to where I can wait till at the end of my 7 classes before I do feedback and remember everything on what they told me. That's
Right.
just not the way my mind works. So if I do it right away, then I can remember
Yes.
and I can get it done. So I'm getting better, and I've gotten more 5 apples, so
Good.
it's working.
Yes. So they want those
Laura.
personalized comments and suggestions. It's not like you put, they need to work on pronunciation. They know that, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, what specifically, or how can they work on it? So here's one I use a lot, only because it comes up a lot. I keep this beautiful Dollar Tree mirror right by me. It's
Oh,
also
yeah.
good for seeing, make sure you don't have like something in your teeth. But anyway, so a lot of them mispronounce the TH blend, right?
Mhm.
And so I try to model it in the classroom. I know you've heard this before, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And the parents really appreciate this because I have had them personally, I don't know, say something about
Yeah.
it that they appreciate that. So I practice it, and then I'm like, watch teacher, and I'm like, look in a mirror, and you can make make them bigger.
Mhm.
When you make them bigger, I hold up the mirror,
Yeah.
and they love that they can see themselves and they're bigger, and then they practice it. And then I also put it in feedback to practice looking in a mirror so you can see how your mouth should look. And I'll
Mhm.
give a shout out to Amanda Pan's teacher on her Etsy store,
Yeah.
and Teachers Pay Teachers. She sells these cute little mouths
Uh,
with the different blends and how the mouth
really?
should look.
I
Yeah.
didn't see that. So, I think I remember, well, I don't wanna call out her name in case I'm wrong, but didn't they say for TH that a lot of
Yes.
times they want you to teach it with your teeth back here, like the. You don't say the. Your tongue is back
Hmm.
further for that sound. So the TH has
Oh.
2 sounds. No, I'm just wondering. I'm
Well,
just
it has
wondering.
two sounds depending on if it's at the beginning of the word or the
The,
end of the word.
well,
Like
the,
with or
right, with the, so it
the.
kind of comes behind your teeth more for that one. Hmm,
True.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. That's true. Well, I don't know. I tend to over exaggerate it first.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Of course,
I
because
mean,
you
you
can
have
always pull
to.
it back. Yeah, yeah.
I'm always like,
Because they need to
and I
see
want
it.
them to do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, do this, And of course, some of them are like, just like,
Yeah.
not that far, but
Or licking the camera. I don't know why my
I haven't had that
level
yet.
1 licks. I have a level 1 that licks the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. But anyway, so
Next.
giving specific suggestions on how to, you're telling me this is what they need. How do I go about that?
Okay, good.
You could recommend flashcards. And a lot of them
Mhm.
have this material. They have flashcards,
Yeah.
but maybe they forget about it, right? They're like, oh yeah,
Right.
I have flashcards. I have an alphabet, like when you're teaching level 1s and you're teaching them the alphabet, and maybe they can find a puzzle that has
Yes.
the alphabet and say that. So anyway, giving specific suggestions, they really appreciate that.
Mhm. An
Okay.
easy thing for reading, I would say, we're continuing to practice reading more fluently or whatever. A good way to help is to go back and reread the stories that we have read in previous
Yes.
classes. That
Yes.
way, they're giving them something to work on. But
Yes. You know what I do too, especially if there's extra time at the end, that closing song or whatever, and I'm speaking specifically level 2. If you have some of the sight words, like the sight words or the high frequency words that they used in class, see if they're in there, like, can you circle the, or
yeah,
whatever the words are. And they love that, first of all, and it's good practice, because the
yeah,
more they see the words in other types of print, and that's something they recommend, even for American students when they're learning to read. It's not just about seeing it on the slide or look for it in a book, but to
right.
have them look for it instead
In
of just
print.
repeating you. it gives more of an impact.
Mhm.
So that's a good way, especially if you need to extend, like you're like, oh, I've got 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
And they love doing that. And you'll say there are 4 of those. So they're looking and,
Mhm.
but anyway.
Great.
Okay. So, okay. Now this one he talked about, this was important, is to write more prose for poor performing students because they need more encouragement. Don't
Mhm.
sit there and they did this wrong. They need to work on this and this and this. And the parents know that, right? I mean,
Right.
I'm sure they do. But to give more pros, even if you're like, okay, how can I, instead of going, they need to work on this, I
Mhm.
was so proud of, you know, Bow Bow,
Yeah.
because he didn't need, or no, because he read more of the story this time. Or,
Mhm.
even if you say, I mean, even if he doesn't get it, the fact that he read a couple of words on his own, that's awesome, right?
Yeah. Aw.
So rewording,
Yeah.
rewording the way you say things, but more prose than things, especially
The lower.
I guess the worse they're performing, the
Okay.
more encouragement they need.
Okay. Good
So,
advice.
and more suggestions for excellent students instead of like, wow, she's magnificent. Maybe they know that too. The
Yeah.
parents are like, so, but what can
So
you
what can
suggest
make
to
them
make them
better?
even
Mhm.
better?
Yeah.
Yes, like more of a challenge
Mhm.
or
Okay.
challenging. So, okay, so that was number 4. And then number 5 was to use the dialogue box, that chat box, I think it's
Oh.
called,
Mhm.
which more people have mentioned, I know, in your interviews and stuff,
Yeah.
to record keywords and sentences while you're teaching. Because I think they can go back and those,
Mhm.
the words and sentences are still there. See, I
Right.
was kind of bad about not using it because I used the other box to type my notes,
Oh
and
yeah.
you can't really see in there when you're typing.
Yeah.
And so I tended to like shy away from it, but now I'm using it again. I will type in words and or full, like when I do, I start doing discussion free talk with younger levels,
Mhm.
like even as unit 5, like what did you do today? I'll try
Oh
to
yeah.
introduce if they're able, to do it. And so I'll type the question in and then
I
the answer.
Yeah. I do that on level ones even. What did you do today? Because their parents are there a lot of times. The parents
True.
might answer me back wrong or, teach them the wrong sentence, but they at least tell me what they did so that I can make the sentence correct.
Oh
So,
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
So using that dialogue box more.
I have a question for you. When you were talking about full screening, you can't full screen the student, right? You full screen yourself and put the mirror up big?
Yes, but
Okay.
it makes their box a little bit bigger, believe it or not. It
But
when you go, yeah,
but you're not really full screening them or making
right,
them
right,
bigger, but
right. You're right. You're
since you
full
put the
screening
camera, I
yourself.
mean, since you put the mirror up there,
Yes,
that works. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do that.
Gotcha.
Um,
That's interesting.
yeah,
Oh, now my
and
big
they
hand
love
is in
that
there.
too. It's so fun,
That's cute.
because they love seeing themselves. I'm like, say hi, and
Yeah.
they just think it's so cool. So it's a fun thing to do. Um, Okay, so let's see, what else? Oh, regular availability for long term. That's a
Yeah.
suggestion, if you want, like if you're trying to get regular students, whatever,
Hmm.
you have to have that consistent schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
makes sense, right?
I did
And
see
it
mine
takes,
drop when I stopped being so consistent. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to close this and sleep in. Oh, I'm just going to close this one." I did see it change. So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They also suggest using using a whiteboard. Now I have a touch screen, so I tend to write on the computer because it's
Yeah.
easier. I mean, that's one of the reasons I got a touch screen, so I could do that.
Oh.
So,
I
but
have lots of whiteboards.
yeah, I do have a lot. I use them more for magnet or rewards and I don't know, whatever.
I like that I can have them set up. I hope nobody minds me showing, but like this one was set when I was doing a lot of trials for the older ones. How old are you? How are you? And
Yes.
then one of the really cute ones for the younger ones, this was in a trial, is like I am, and I put their name and then I am whatever years old they are
Yes. Oh,
for
that's a good
there was
idea.
a
Yeah.
trial like this. So a lot of the whiteboards I have are set up already for different things
Did you use
like the
permanent ink?
verbs. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
I use a Sharpie, but a good way to get a Sharpie off is just use a dry erase over it and a tissue, and you're good.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like
See, I made
irregular
one of these. I
markers.
did the how are you and then how old are you?
Oh yeah.
Because I mean that they're so close. But yes, I have some whiteboards that are dedicated specifically
Mhm.
for because if otherwise you got to keep writing it every
Yeah.
single day.
Oh,
So good
and
idea.
one more trick and tip. You can do them like this instead and save yourself on buying it. So it's just a paper and a document protector. And
Yes.
these are the ones I take when I travel. Okay, sorry.
Yes, no, that's a great idea. Or if you laminate it or whatever, or
Yeah.
they like Dollar Tree has those pockets,
Yeah, that's what
clear
that is. It's
pockets. Is that
a
what that
pocket.
is? Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, great tips. Okay, so oh, and he did talk about this isn't really a suggestion for the parents, but for pronunciation, because obviously that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Chinese students, they have all these different tones and
Mhm.
letters. So when you hear like he gave an example when they pronounce C, like we say C, but for them they say,
Mhm.
just because they've been drilled. In China, they use rote memorization for
Yeah.
everything. And so they are drilled in for their tones and letters and their symbols and it's just such a habit. And for
Mhm.
you to say C and they're like,
Mhm.
so if you hear that a lot, I mean, that's why. If you
That's
hear
where it's
different,
coming from.
they say things different ways.
Yeah.
And he had other characters, but you get the idea. So you just have to keep on it, keep on it.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll write it, how you spell it, write it out phonetically.
Yeah.
I think that helps, especially the older students. Like, I don't know, like library. That's really hard, hard word to say. So
Mhm.
I kind of spell it out phonetically how it might sound. I don't know if
Yeah.
they understand that,
You know,
but
you're making me smile because when I got started, do you know those videos at the bottom, like the teachers that have had 5 apples a couple of times on the same
yes,
lesson? So I remember
yes.
watching them when I was first learning. And lobster, the student kept saying lobster,
A la booster.
lobster. And the teacher was trying to get it and showing different ways. And that's the same in Japan. So I was used to
Okay,
hearing it, but it was just really neat. Lobster.
that's
And how the teacher was getting him to do it. And yeah.
yeah. Or like another big one. I don't know how you say it, like chocolate. Now, sometimes if I'm like, I feel like I love language, I love spelling, I love
Hmm.
English, but I'm like, I'm gonna check just in case. I'm pretty sure it's 2 syllables because they say chocolate, right?
Hmm.
And it is chocolate. It's 2 syllables, but it's like chocolate. And they'll say,
Yeah.
no, teacher, it's chocolate. I'm like, no, it's chocolate.
Right?
But it's some of them will get into an argument, but I'm like, okay. I mean, occasionally there's I had a level 4 today, and she was learning about some people say semi-aquatic animals, semi, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Sometimes there
had
is
that
more
one
than
today
one.
too.
Did you?
I said semi-aquatic animals.
Yeah, I said semi-aquatic, and they're like, semi, and I'm like, okay.
I don't know what I said now. That's so funny. Do you know what's a hard one? Do you say camera? How many syllables? Is it camera?
or,
Camera?
or camera.
Right, camera.
Hmm.
I had to look
I
that one up in kindergarten.
Yeah, I pronounce it camera, but
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, there's probably hundreds like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh, and here's another good one, a suggestion from the parent is to change your classroom techniques depending upon the student's age. So
Mm.
there's they put it in 2 groups, 6 to 9 year olds and then
Mhm.
9 and up. So whatever you're doing for the younger kids, I mean if it works for older kids, but
Yeah.
and an example what came to mind for me was like I do a lot of when you do the um when you get to the phonics part, which they always try to rush through,
Mhm.
like the ut, the word families,
Yeah.
and well, we know that's a big sticking point. Learn how to pronounce, say
Yes.
the letter sounds, right? So a lot of them rush through it. And I use my hands a lot because they're right here and it's easy.
Yeah.
But occasionally if I have a student that's struggling with it, I have those big Lego blocks. They're over there, sorry. And you know how you can write the word family on the bottom, like ut, and then you can, yes, that's it. That's it. Yes. Um, having a different way of seeing it sometimes helps. Like, oh,
I'm always afraid I'm backwards though.
No, I can see it. I mean, it's,
yeah, because
Zed.
I know the ed, so I know that the other letter has to go here, but I'm like,
Yeah.
But I write on this with Sharpie, dry erase it off, and then I just write one. I only do usually one per thing.
I have enough of those that I can use one for each word family.
Yeah. While we're talking about that, let me just show one more cool thing. I love these for the silent K. I have a ton of them for a lot of different blends. And I will get them ready before the class, throw them up here on my keyboard, and if I need an extension, I pull it out. So they're here if I need them, and if I don't need them.
Where did you get the ones that you have?
These are from Amazon. I'll put the link. I'll put the link for them because they're pretty cool.
Yes, those are great.
And they weren't so expensive. I think the only thing I had to buy with them was brads. There's a printable one on the website in the library. At least there was. But these are already made, and it just saved me time. And
nice.
Worth more to me.
the older I get, the more like time is money, and I'm willing to spend more now than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Okay. So that's pretty much it for the parent suggestions.
Yeah. Is that where they also mentioned the headphones? It was right before he talked about whiteboards at one part. I don't know if that's another one, but he did talk about teachers wearing headphones and having better sound quality.
It wasn't one of his points.
So it wasn't on the PowerPoint, but it was in his discussion right before he talked about the whiteboards, I think. Yeah.
Because they can hear, right. And it's because they can hear you better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, Danny said her very first VIPKid student ever booked me today after almost a year. He is so special to me because he was my first.
That's so sweet.
Wait till you see him.
I have a student, she's one of my first students I ever taught. And I was looking, I taught her the other day, and I usually never look at the classes, how many classes they've had or whatever. She's had 294 and 210 were with me. And
wow.
I'm like, wow, I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, she's in level 4 now, and she's amazing. So, and I've gotten to know her family. Like, she has a baby brother, and I got to see when her mom was pregnant, and they come in every once in a while and show me the baby, and yeah, it's fun. Yeah. But yeah, that's special. So anyway, real quick, a couple of more things.
Yeah, please do. I'm getting the link for them.
Oh, good. Okay, thanks. Basically, he talked about like Chinese students, like the difference between American students and Chinese students or whatever. Not really a difference, but so they obviously have more peer pressure, school education-wise and school-wise, more exams.
Right.
They're more shy, makes sense. And so in class, if you don't see them like getting all excited, they're very shy, nation, culture, The teachers focus on knowledge instead of skill. Do you remember that where he had an exam, and even though the child, they had some of the things correct, but it wasn't, how like in America you can explain an answer,
right,
and get partial credit. That wouldn't fly there.
I remember him talking about it, but I don't remember the.
Yeah, I'd have to try and pull up but because they do rote memorization, where I know they're trying to change that they have changed that in the schools here. They're more about critical thinking, even in kindergarten classes. Instead of just the teacher reading a book, they show the book and, look at the front cover. What do you see? And they're trying to get the kids to think more critically, even at a young age, which is awesome, instead of just they used to call them, the teachers, the sage on the stage.
Right.
You heard that expression?
No.
Where the teacher's at the, front of the classroom, the kids are sitting in their desk. And I mean, that's how it was when I was growing up, in the 70s. And there was now there's like small groups. I worked in school.
I love small groups.
Wow. Yeah. It's like they're milling about and doing this and that, and way different.
Yeah, so, I love to teach in centers, but that's another story for another day.
And the 9 to 11 years of age are the students' most critical periods. which means, so that was a whole nother thing, which I'm not going to get into, but I mean,
Right.
basically, the critical period is, I was just going to read a little bit. It's a critical period. It's a hypothesis that talks about, in your brain. There was a neurologist, Wilder Penfield, back in the 50s. They wrote a book about when the best, not the best time, but the best time to learn a language, or the easiest, I guess, for children. And we know it's the younger you are, the better you are.
Yeah.
Because I can't explain it in a scientific way, but basically there's, your brain has a language section. As you age, I think it's the plasticity, it closes. I mean, there's like a gap or something, and it closes. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a lot more difficult once you get past adolescence, is what they're saying. But the younger you are, which is ironic because in America, at least when I was growing up, you couldn't take foreign language until high school.
Right.
Like, so yeah, it's called the critical period hypothesis. And he talks about that a lot, but it's really interesting if you look it up. He's got all the it's called the 5 hypotheses of Krashen's theory. It gets into all this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff. But so basically, it's a critical period hypothesis. There is a period of growth in which full native competence is possible when acquiring a language. This period is from early childhood to adolescence. The older you get, the more difficult it is. So is the long and short of it. He did talk about one more thing. The common mistakes made by Chinese speaking English learners, which when you hear them, you'll be like, oh yeah, common sense.
Yeah.
Gender pronoun confusion, because even in the feedback, Mr. Shannon is a great teacher, or it's like, we know that
because they don't distinguish that in their language.
Right. They don't have pronoun. They don't have definite articles.
Right.
And they don't conjugate verbs. So this is all new to them, And so the singular plural confusion is another one. Subject verb agreement, verb tense, adding, dropping articles, confusing prepositions, misplaced objects. So, I mean, kind of the stuff that we deal with every day. But that was it as far as his slides.
That was a lot of great information. I learned a lot from that, and I hope people in the chat, like that, people in chat, our friends in the chat, got a lot out of that too, because I definitely like the parent feedback, and then some of his statistics and stuff I just thought were super interesting.
Yes. Yeah, they were. I know. I hope it wasn't. I mean, I know it was a lot of information to take in, but basically, I guess the long and short of it, if we had to sum it up, is to be enthusiastic. I mean, and just try to get to know your students on a more personal level. Parents want that. They want to have a relationship, with their teachers. They want a long-term commitment once they find the right teacher. I took a vacation a few weeks ago. I teach these 2 twin girls. Their names are Cece and TT, like they spell it CCTT, right? So they're so adorable. And I was just teaching Cece in the beginning, and she was in level 2, and it was way too hard for her. I felt bad for her. You could tell she hated class, and grandma sat with her and whispered her the answers. And so I wrote to the LP 3 times, and all of a sudden they're in level 1. And mom asked me if I had something to do with that. I wasn't sure if she was mad or not, but it was my honest, I really felt. Anyway, they started level 1, lesson 1. I taught them every level 1 class, and then her sister got on board.
Yay.
And now they're in level 2, unit 3. And I went on vacation for a week, and I'm on WeChat with the mom. And she said they did not want another teacher. They will wait for me to. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yay.
That makes me feel so good. And
that's great.
I have this little doll. Sorry, I'm trying to find her.
It's okay. While you find that, I wanted to tell them. So one thing I thought was great about Benjamin the LP was when I met him in DC first of all, he told a teacher that he would help her just out of the blue. She asked him a question. He's like, "Let me have your name and we'll look it up for you." Um, but the feedback he took back with him was that we want to put things into the LP chat and either know that they're receiving it or receive an answer. And I will say the last time I put something in the LP chat, I got a letter back from them, a short email back from them. Email? I think it was an email. And I've seen on Facebook many other teachers talk about it. So
Yes.
although it might not be exactly what you were hoping for, like I just told the parents exactly what you said, just know that we asked for them to communicate through this and they're working on it. So I thought that was really, really good that Benjamin was like, I'm going to try to make that happen for you. And then that was in November and then this. So this was in
Yes,
May.
that's why you have to be careful what you say, because they will tell them. People
Correct.
have teachers have said, they have said verbatim.
Yeah.
So you have to use, you have to speak kindly, and
Right.
you can't say, my student is a horrible reader. I mean, you have to say he struggles, with blending, or,
Right.
you have to, be tactful, because
So word it the
they're
way you
like,
want the parents to hear it.
exactly. I always assume they're going to see it. So, but anyway, yeah, this is my little doll, Dee Dee. I call her Dee Dee. And that's so now when I see the twins, they're like, hi, Dee Dee. I mean,
Aw.
we've made that, now it's like we've made that connection. I mean, we've had a connection, but it's like, I feel even closer to them now.
Yeah.
And that's what parents want. I mean, they want
Mhm.
that connection, because then you get to know them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I think they learn the not just stuff in the lesson,
Mhm.
they're learning, you get to learn more about, kind of things that you wouldn't learn in a lesson. Like, we have different
Yeah.
greetings. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Mhm.
And, but anyway, but yes, I love that. I haven't written to an LP yet,
Yeah.
but, I think it's awesome
I
that
just
we
thought it was
get.
good. He took our suggestions during Journey and brought it out. Um, Deborah said one of the things she's had to correct is how her students write the letter I, and it kind of looks like the Z with the dot on top. I don't really correct it. Like when I write things, I write it the way we write it, but I haven't corrected that I. That's just the way they were taught. And to me, it looks more like Danilian than it does
Yes, that's what
Xander
it
Blozer.
is. Yeah, it's Danilian, and I think some of the schools used to teach that. My daughter
Mhm.
learned that, and then the next year they switched. So
Yeah.
yeah, I never correct that either,
Yeah.
but
So there was a question, I think, was it Laura H mentioned Opal. So how to get points towards, so there's different tiers for the six apple. There is amber, jade, sapphire, and opal. And let's see, amber is 0 to 199 points. Jade is 200 to 2,999. Sapphire is 3,000 to 5,999. And opal is 6,000 points. I guess would be the best way to say it. Now that does give you some different perks in the six apple
Mhm.
thing. Like for opals, you got two spins instead of one. So there were some simple things. I don't remember all of them.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't.
Kristen, thanks for coming. Um, and but some ways to earn points. Open PPT slot says +2 as scheduled classes. Um, 5 Apple parent feedback, you get points. Influencing, so recurring students, converted trials and referrals. Trial certificate, major course certificates, and builders program, and events. So those are all worth points. And as you get more points, you kind of move to the different levels. Um, we are in a different season, like you change seasons throughout too. So I would say go to your Six Apple program and take a look at the different things. It's all kind of spelled out in there. But I am always between a sapphire and an opal. Yeah, I just received an email like, you're close to opal. Are you going to make it or what? um, yeah, so that was, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's stuff there I didn't even know. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, when I got that email, I'm like, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't, I was just kind of like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I
I
was
was
waiting to
proud.
hear more chatter from it, and I didn't hear
Mhm.
anything, and I didn't say anything like to our group, because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't
Did
know.
did they say the average Opal had been like were on their fifth contract or sixth contract or something, right? It was like, quite a
Yeah,
small.
and a few of them. So I'm almost at 7,000 classes that I've taught.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I felt like a newbie. They're like, I'm at 10,000. I've had 11,000.
You they they were like, "What? You're in your second contract? How many classes have you taught?" I'm like, "Oh." I don't even know. All I know is I still have one more feedback to write because she showed me she has a bruise here and she showed me her
Oh,
bruise again, and this is like the second time in a couple of weeks that she said, "Teacher, close your eyes." So I'm such a dork. I'm like, "Okay, 5, 4," because normally we play a game and she put something
oh,
up or something. This time she went whoop, and I'm like, "No,
no.
no."
Yeah,
So
that's funny.
I have to get back to one more one more feedback.
Yeah, I
So
have to do my feedback.
all right, everybody. Wow, I think we gave you a whole bunch of information. I thought it was helpful. I hope it helps some of you.
I hope
Marianne, you have
so. Yeah.
anything else to add?
No, I feel like I've talked way too much, but I thought it would be interesting. It was really interesting learning about the LP perspective from the
Yeah.
trainer. It was awesome. I mean, it would be cool is if they shot a video of like, I don't know, them in action or something. I think that would be
The
neat. I know,
LPs?
yeah,
Yeah.
or just even stuff that goes on over in the main office. Just we hear things, but how do you know like what's really true and stuff? Go
Yeah.
on different groups and I heard this, I heard that, and
Yeah.
I just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But because one I heard somebody say like, oh yeah, the LPs have 500 students. And I'm like, well, that's not true,
Yeah. They
according
have
to,
about on average 150 according
yes,
to Benjamin who runs the LP program.
right, which is a lot.
um
Yes.
Kristen, I didn't even know the gift cards were gone again from the token center. So, hmm. Um,
Oh,
Laura H said, "How are both of you liking the new level ones?" I haven't taught any, only the trial new level ones.
I haven't either. Actually, I haven't even gotten my certification. It's
You
processing.
you
I know.
love level one.
I know. But you know what? Honestly, I have to say, I'm not going to say. I,
You are booked to what you need, right? Is that what you were thinking?
I am loving level 2 right now. I'm just like
Aw.
really honed in on it. And
Mhm.
level 3, because I've, almost 3 years been here, and a lot of my regulars have moved up.
Yeah.
So all my level 1s now I only have like 2 level 1s right now.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of enjoying a break. I've taught those classes
Yeah.
so many times over,
Mhm.
so I'm enjoying the break from it.
Yeah,
And I just,
Kristen. Oops,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Kristen, I looked when you mentioned it, and yeah, they're not in the token center. I just looked too. Oh, Erica, I'm glad it was eye-opening.
Well,
Good.
they are moving the warehouse and stuff. So maybe
Yeah.
they just kind of shut everything down temporarily.
Hmm.
Because Danny
Yeah.
was saying that she had ordered a
I
dyno,
know.
and
Yeah.
then they gave her tokens back because they said they're moving warehouses because they changed buildings. So maybe they
Right.
just shut everything down until they can get resettled.
I
So
do remember that.
yeah,
Kristen loves the new level one. So,
I've heard mixed feelings on that. Some people love it, other people are like, eh. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know. I haven't taught any. I've got a few certifications that I haven't taught yet, and I have one that I haven't taught yet coming up that I'm teaching. The words to sentences. So I have that tonight, I think, or tomorrow night.
Okay. See,
So,
that's my other thing. I have one supplementary course, which is phonics. I have all these that are processing. I still have to get certified for it.
really? Oh, that's funny.
7.
Well, if there are
And
any
it's
major courses, make sure you do it to gain points for your Six Apple Club.
yes, I need to get certified for level 5 or 6 or something.
I like
Um,
six, but I haven't taught a whole bunch of them. Probably,
I haven't hardly taught any level 5.
well, it must be
I
over
don't know.
10 because it's already counted as advanced now. So,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway,
Oh,
but
she said there was an email about the token center move. I missed it.
yeah, yeah, I forget. I don't know if they're reopening next month or month after. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know. I have
Well,
enough dinos.
yeah. Deborah agrees with you. I give all mine away as gems because
Me
one
too.
time my student said, "Thank you for the gems. I traded my gems in for a free class for you, and my dad went and bought me a microscope." He said the microscope was cheaper than a class. So he spent his
No
gems buying
kidding.
a class, and dad got him a microscope.
Did he say how many gems? I'm curious.
I want
How
to say it was
many
like 2,000.
for a class?
Yeah. But that I could totally
Wow.
be making that up. Yeah, we'll have to
See,
look
I
into
give
that.
mine away too. In fact, a lot of times I give them to my students and then they expire. They don't
Yeah.
even look.
But then you get them back.
I know, no, but I want them to have them.
I know.
I send it to them on if they have a birthday, if it's a new student, if I really make a connection. I've given one student three different times gemstones, and they've all
Yeah.
expired, and I get them back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I put a note in the when I did feedback. Check your, I don't know what they check, but I'm like trying to give
Yeah.
your child a gift.
I have a couple that I give gems to that they open all the time, and I have a couple that haven't. Yes, Kristen, I'm all about the Starbucks money. New teacher here, so I read all the dang emails. Oi. Oh, Erica, I'm so glad you found our channel. My channel, but all my friends are really on it. So,
Yes. Casey's fantastic.
oh, thanks. Okay,
Really.
guys, I think we're gonna end here.
Yes.
A little secret, not a secret, but I stood up teacher Michael yesterday on accident. I was supposed to go meet him for his podcast, so we're doing it today in like an hour because I just I wrote Friday. He said Thursday. I even went back and saw that he said Thursday. And I was like in
So
my email,
what are you doing with the podcast?
he is interviewing me. So that's
Oh,
embarrassing, but I need to go
no.
make sure I'm ready for
Yes,
that.
I
So
understand. Oh, have a great time.
yeah. Um, but I just want to thank everybody so much for coming again and Marianne for this awesome suggestion. A little birdie told me, a Marianne birdie, that she's opening back up her YouTube channel soon. Yes? Are you gonna?
That's the plan without school. And
Yeah.
I have such low subscribers, so I'm hoping people will.
So
I'm at like
let's put it in
28.
here right now while we still have 6 friends in the chat.
Oh,
Um,
how do I do that?
I will put it in for you. Let me
Oh,
go and get the
thanks.
link.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, check it out. She's gonna post some new her new videos for OutSchool. Wait, it brought me to Facebook instead of YouTube. So I want to make sure I put this in here.
Yeah. Maybe I can do take a day once in a while, like in
Sorry.
our morning times.
It's not working. Sorry about that, guys. As
Oh.
you can tell, I pulled up Facebook and our chat came up.
Oh.
Not Facebook, YouTube. All right, Marianne. Is it under Marianne Shannon? Right?
I think so. Or it might be VIPKid. I don't even know. But
I am a subscriber. I just need to.
Okay, I don't know if I closed it off. No, I didn't close it off. I don't know.
No, it's still there.
You know more than I do.
Here we are. VIPKid teacher. Oh, it's the same as mine. VIPKid teacher Mary Ann.
So unique, right? Like, what
right?
can I call
it? We're so unique.
Except now, I'm like, should I make an OutSchool one? That doesn't matter, right?
Had I known what I know now, I think I would have wrote ESL. But
can you change it?
I think I can eventually. Kristen Classroom, she has a video on how to change it.
Okay. Oh, good.
Right,
okay.
Kristen? Tell me if I'm wrong.
But yeah, you're right. It would have been better not to be specific, but to be.
Yeah, but I'm not planning on changing mine. So.
Okay.
Trying to find you guys so I can put this in the live chat, but. Okay, I think I found you now.
Okay.
All right, so go to Marianne Shannon or VIPKid teacher Marianne, and I will post the link below. For some reason, I'm having trouble getting to our chat since I'm trying to do many things at once.
Yeah. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be great.
I'll check out her channel.
Yeah. I was like raising from the dead. Yeah.
But she will have some new OutSchool stuff going up there. So I think that would be really interesting for many people. Nope. Okay. it didn't work, but I will definitely get that for you and
That's
put it in the
okay.
chat box.
No worries. All right, you go get ready for your interview. Have fun.
All right,
Okay.
everybody,
Thanks, everyone.
thanks again.
Yeah. Bye.
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 I have to actually go back to Zoom and find